welcome back to another Football aka Soccer video for you guys today. Man, for me checking out former Dutch manager Ronald Koeman, aka Mr. Barcelona, man. I think he plays center back. I know him through FIFA. Also, FIFA 23 has came out. I have been on FIFA 23. It's great. I haven't played online yet, just doing squad battle, stuff like that. But anyway, man, checking out Ronald Koeman. Fancy what he's on. I only know him. He played for Barcelona. And I think he managed Barcelona as well. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I think he plays center back, defensive mid, whatever. So let's check him out. Let's see what he is on. Don't forget to like the video and stuff as well. Stay safe. Premier League is back this upcoming week. Looking forward to it. Shout out to Daily Dose of Football again. Let's get it.
FC Groningen would sub in at halftime a 17-year-old defender who at the time would be the third youngest ever player to take part in a match for the club.
17.
In his first season at the struggling club, he would only taste victory 5 times despite taking part in 24 matches. But even as the club struggled to dominate any match, the young defender would show himself to be an oddly gifted goal scorer, finding the net 6 times in his first season. By the end of the season, FC Groningen would only keep themselves above the relegation spots on goal difference, finishing with only the same measly 25 points as NEC. The next season, Ronald Koeman would be one of the names that would endorse the revolution for FC Groningen, as he would turn into a frequent starter and would get himself an astonishing 14 goals in a season. Keep in mind, we're talking about a centre back. The next season he would repeat this goal-scoring achievement, recording the same 14 goals in a season, but this time the team would profit even more from it, managing a 5th place finish and earning themselves a spot in the UEFA Cup.
That's nice.
These phenomenal performances would not only earn him his international debut for...
Hold up. So he plays center back, but he's so like further up the pitch. Like dude's playing as like a freaking striker. I mean, like the bro, he had to play some striking like his youth days.
the Netherlands national team,
like
as
his
well
youth days before his professional debut.
His time at Ajax would follow the same path with exceptional goal-scoring prowess and a constant fight to earn domestic recognition, only reaping its profits in the second season as Ajax would top the table with 54 points, thanks not only to Koeman, but also Dutch talents like Marco van Basten and Frank Rijkaard. After the third season with Johan Cruyff coaching the team, Koeman, who had for long lusted over the potential European success, would controversially leave for rivals PSV as they lured him with hopes of fulfilling those same dreams. At PSV, Koeman would experience what would be the peak of his goal scoring. So far, the defender would be phenomenal, averaging nearly a goal every 3 matches, which is just something that is even hard to process. I, as someone who wasn't that familiar with his career, had to not double but triple check these numbers in order to believe them.
Okay, can we just give a quick shout to my boy Ruud Gullit, and how just effortlessly, that's not a word. Effortlessly, that's not a word either. It's not just clean and easy. He just made that look. That's better. That's a lot better.
Okay, trying not to go on a tangent, at PSV, he would overall average a goal every 2 matches over the 3 seasons he stayed there. Just listen carefully. The man got 61 goals in 3 seasons for PSV as a center back, 26 in only his second season. That's more than Ronaldinho ever achieved. Well, to be fair, it's actually the exact same, but on Ronaldinho's peak, 10 of his goals were penalties, which is 3 more than Koeman. Well, I think you get the point. This man was an absolute abomination of a defender. Well, his first season at PSV would start really poorly, as PSV would get knocked out of the European Cup in the first round and would be trailing behind Ajax in the second place for months. And it looked like Koeman had made the worst decision possible in leaving Ajax for PSV. Whereas the board replaced the current coach for Gus Hiddink, PSV would come back to win the title and once again qualify for the European Cup. The next season could arguably be deemed as Koeman's peak, both for the already mentioned 26 goals, but also as he finally achieved his dream.
So man played for PSV and Ajax. See, I don't really know like how that's like looked at. 'Cause I know like the Premier League, you play for City and Manchester United is kind of weird, or Manchester United and Liverpool, or even like La Liga. You play for Real Madrid and Barcelona, aka Ronaldo. But I'm not sure how that's still like a big deal over in like the Dutch league. Playing for PSV and Ajax.
First, PSV will defeat Galatasaray.
Doesn't Gakpo play for PSV, right?
As they made it to the quarterfinals, the difficulty will increase as they struggle to get past Bordeaux, winning on away goals. Then, as they face Real Madrid, another tough match would take place, having the exact same outcome. As this would be the path taken by Koeman towards his first Champions League final, where he would face Benfica. And after 120 minutes,
Eusebio, right?
Completely goalless and 12 penalties taken, with Koeman converting the first one of those, Benfica's Veloz would miss, and Koeman would have conquered Europe and fulfilled his biggest wish. To add to his massive achievement, PSV would also win both the league and the cup to complete the treble. As this would not satisfy Koeman, he would also take part in the Euro for the first time in his career that summer, beaten by 2 goals, and just like that, Koeman would have won every competition he took part on that season.
That's crazy.
Both at club and international level, which would earn him a 5th place in the Ballon d'Or, only 6 points off the podium. Truly incredible. In the following season, Koeman would revalidate all titles but the Champions League, as he would go on to get his first international move to Barcelona, where he would reunite with his former manager and
What the heck was this goal?
Go on to get his first international move to Barcelona, where he would reunite with his former manager and Dutch superstar Johan Cruyff, as he assembled what would be known as the Dream Team. The first season there would be the worst, only winning the Copa del Rey despite scoring in the final of the European Cup Winners' Cup. But after that, it would take a complete turn, with the club managing to win the league for 4 years in a row, with the main achievement coming in 1992, as Barcelona would easily make it through the qualifying rounds. Coming into the group stage, they would win all home games, which despite an away loss to Sparta Prague and a draw to Benfica would be enough to see them get to the final, where, as they faced Sampdoria, a single goal in extra time by none other than Koeman himself would see Barcelona be crowned champions of Europe. Before leaving Barcelona, Koeman would have one last hurrah, and it would of course come in the competition he seemed to love the most, the Champions League. This time in the 1994 edition, Barcelona would easily qualify to the group stage, with Koeman scoring an incredible 2 goals against Dynamo Kiev, as well as another 2 against Austria Vienna. Then they would easily top their group, not losing a single match, with Koeman being impressive in form and getting 2.
The funny thing is that a lot of his goals are all like free kick stuff like that. And for opposing teams, you're not obviously not trying to foul him, because if you foul Barcelona, Ronald Koeman is just gonna knock it in. So, I'll be scared as well. If I was a goalkeeper and there's a free kick and Koeman was on it, you might as well just
2 goals versus Spartak and 1
put the one up the board. Hey,
then, as they went to the semi-final, Koeman would score another one in their 3-0 win over FC
Dude is just scoring just
with
effort.
8 goals
just
in 11
easy.
matches
That's
while
crazy.
playing at centre-back. Koeman had been a titan for Barcelona that season, but the final would end this fairy tale on a sour note, as AC Milan would trash Barcelona 4-0.
Dang.
After one rather unsuccessful season at Barcelona, Koeman would leave for Feyenoord, where he would get close to the title but never actually achieved it over the 2 seasons he spent there. Regardless, this transfer made him one of the few players to play for all 3 big Dutch clubs, and by the end of his career, he would have netted a total of 250 goals over 759 matches, becoming the most prolific centre-back of all time.
Crazy.
When you hear about a goal-scoring centre-back, you probably think of Sergio Ramos, but just to compare the two, Ramos just had his most prolific season with 13 goals. On Koeman's best, he got twice that amount, while playing roughly the same amount of matches. His 250 career goals are higher than players like Wesley Sneijder, Frank Ribery, Alexis Sanchez, Arjen Robben, or even Zinedine Zidane, and a higher club record than Ballon d'Or winning striker Michael Owen. And if that's not surprising enough, if you take into account the games played, he even had a higher goals per game ratio than Fernando Torres, and the same as Ronaldinho himself. Absolutely legendary. Known as, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Floquet de No, or Snowflake in English, after an albino gorilla that lived in the Barcelona zoo at the time, Ronald Koeman was a one-of-a-kind footballer, just a unique opportunity for those who had the pleasure to watch him at his peak. What more could be asked of a centre-back when he even manages to score that much? If he contributed any more to the team's play, he would have to get a pair of gloves and just start stopping
over 200 goals as a center back is that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Like, I don't care what era that's in. That's incredibly good.
Some shots.
That's incredibly good.
We're talking about a man who has a gesture of revolt against the war crimes committed by the Germans in the Second World War, took a match against Germany in their home soil as an opportunity to exchange shirts with one of their players, only to purposely wipe his rear to the shirt on live TV. Before we get on with the video, I'd like to mention that he had a relatively successful coaching career with clubs like Benfica, PSV, etc., and even at a point a Dutch national team, which becomes even more impressive when you realize that his brother Ronald Koeman, who was also a football player turned coach, was coaching the Oman national team at the time, making them the only ever set of brothers to coach two national teams at the same time. Odd, but really impressive. So getting into our ranking system now, first marking, Koeman was very solid, an 8 out of 10. Secondly, tackling, probably his best defensive attributes, a 9 out of 10. Third, physicality. He had a very imposing physique, so an 8, like he was a very focused and determined individual, so a 7 out of 10. In terms of his legacy, first, consistency. He was amazing on all stages of his career, an 8 out of 10. Secondly, flair. A composed goal-scoring defender, sure is hard to evaluate, but I'd say an 8 out of 10 should be right. Then his trophy cabinet, it is pretty good indeed, so an 8 out of 10. Then longevity, not really the longest career, though he never really fell off much, so a 7 out of 10. Lastly, the icon factor is sort of a forgotten gem. It feels like only Dutch people or Barcelona fans remember him very well. The rest of the world seems sort of numb to his prior achievements, so I can only give him a 5 out of 10.
He's an icon FIFA.
This totals out to 78 out of 100, a very solid score
C+.
for a very solid player. He doesn't really lack in any aspect, but I guess he just doesn't enjoy the notoriety of some other players. Let's hope this video will change that a little bit. So,
Ronald Koeman, he's absolutely amazing. He played for PSV, Feyenoord, and Ajax. Achieving all of that. I think he came in with FC Groningen. Went to Barcelona, killed it there. Oh my God. I didn't know he was as good. I honestly didn't know he was as good. I had no idea Ronald Koeman was as good. Only thing I knew about Ronald Koeman, he was Dutch and he played center back. That was pretty much it. And something about like his goals. But anyway, man, Ronald Koeman. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Don't forget to like the video and sub as well. Stay safe. We'll see you guys later. Peace.